Hey, welcome back to another video. My name is Kara Michelle. I'm here to help you live your truth. I want to talk about manifestation a little bit, and I want to share exactly how I manifested not only this last winter in Australia and Bali, but also a job with elephants in the past, traveling the world, living out all these dreams like skydiving in Australia, getting my scuba certification in the Philippines, all these things that I had always wanted to do, and like really how I manifested it, how I created it. So I'm excited to share this with you. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna show you Bali, although it's just raining, so it's not all that exciting right now. It is my last day here. I'm so sad, but I'm excited for the next chapter. But anyway, it's like not that beautiful when it's raining, I guess. It's just a view, but still nice. So I wanted to share that really quickly, but take you with me in the process. So manifestation is something that, I mean, everyone has their own, I'll just leave that. Everyone has their own opinions about it, and I think it can be really easy to judge it, and a lot of people are like, what do you, like, you didn't manifest it. Like, either it happened or you made it happen, and there's no, like, I broke the door. No, I don't think I did. It's okay. There's either, like, you made it happen or it just naturally happened. Like, some people have a really big thing with manifestation, but I used to be one of those people who kind of doubted it and thought it was maybe a little bit crazy, like people were just kind of making stuff up. And now I have manifested a lot in my own life, so I see it very differently. And the thing with manifestation is, like, it does usually come from that really deep inner knowing that something's gonna work out for you. And we all have those things that drive us, that are like pulling at the core of our being, saying like, you need to do this, or this is what the next step is, or like this is gonna really help you in your path or your journey or your happiness, right? There's these things that we really truly desire, and sometimes we have trouble accepting that. Sometimes we think it's bad to desire these things, and that is not the case at all. Whatever you are desiring is what you're meant for, and I think it's like your destiny and your purpose to kind of manifest it, to make it happen, to get into alignment with that desire and really live it out. So for me, a few years back, I mean, when I was a little girl, I always dreamed of working with elephants, and if you're an elephant lover, comment down below. Us elephant people gotta stick together. I've always loved elephants so much, and I always was like, one day I'm gonna work with them. And you know, as kids, you have all these big dreams, and maybe your parents like validate them and say, oh, that's a great dream, and oh, good idea, Kara. Yeah, maybe one day. And they don't ever really think you'll do it. Like, it just seems so far off. But I had this dream of working with elephants, and then all of a sudden these things started to fall into place, like not planned at all. And this is the difference. This is what really is key with manifestation, is that it's about like the flow versus the force. Because you can force something to happen, and you could very well make it happen, but the feeling isn't going to be good. The journey to get there isn't going to be as enjoyable. It's going to be a lot of extra stress and tension. So yes, I could have really forced of like, I want to work with elephants. I'm going to find a place somewhere in the world. I'm going to email them. I'm going to send messages all day, every day. I'm going to show up there knocking at the door. I'm going to make it happen. I could have forced it totally, and maybe it would have worked. Maybe something would have come my way with that. But manifestation is more about like leaning back and trusting, and just like knowing in your heart and soul that it's going to happen. So back in 2015, I met a friend of mine. We became friends really quickly, and she was like, you know, I really want to go to Sri Lanka. And I was like, what? Like, don't really know much about this place, but I love traveling, and I was just kind of keen. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm up for it. Like, that'll be fun. And I wanted to keep traveling, and I just kind of said, hey, they've got elephants there, I'll go volunteer with elephants. And like as this trip kind of evolved and like we started planning and booking, and I had the flexibility where I knew I was gonna continue to travel for like a year, and I was putting it out there to myself, to the universe, that like this is what I'm gonna do. It feels really right. This is what my heart's telling me right now, is to keep traveling, to go to XYZ countries after. Here's what my trip's gonna look like. And like literally almost everything in that trip happened that way, and it wasn't because I planned it. It was because like I had the vision and I had the feeling, I had the desire, but then I stepped back. Like I wasn't attached to it. I wasn't every day being like, I need to plan this out and how can I get there and like this has to happen next. It was like, no, it's gonna happen. So I can just chill and enjoy myself because it's gonna happen. And so we went to Sri Lanka, or Sri Lanka, however you personally like to call it. We went there, we traveled around a little bit, and I had booked for a couple weeks to volunteer with elephants. Now, prior to going, everyone back home, family, friends, parents, friends, like aunts and uncles, all these people were like, you know, what's going on? What are you going to be doing? And like, what are your plans? All these normal questions. And I'm just there like, oh yeah, you know, like I'm gonna volunteer with elephants for a little while and then I'm gonna end up getting a job there. And everyone's like, whoa, like hold up a second. What do you mean? How is this gonna happen? Explain, expand, right? And some people were like, well, you don't really have the qualifications. Like you don't have your zoology like degree, you know, you haven't worked with elephants before. And I was like, yeah, you know, I get that, but I was like, there's plenty of opportunity. There's gonna be something. Like I know something's gonna work out. I can work in an elephant sanctuary somehow. A job will open up. I'll be able to stick around and help out. And like I've studied zoo animal technology. I've studied a lot of animal welfare. I've volunteered with wildlife in Guatemala, back in Canada. You know, like I have a lot of experience with animals, and I've like, you haven't, it was before, but I also have the video of me and Squeaker on the dodo and like me taking care of him, and I know what it's like to take care of animals. Obviously elephants are different, but I didn't have any doubt in my mind that I was like underqualified. And this is a kicker, because a lot of times people, and you might be stuck in this place right now where you have this goal or this vision, this desire, you want to see it manifested, but there's a block, there's a limiting belief, there's an unworthiness telling you, I'm not ready, or I'm not good enough, or it can't happen for me. And it's that exact block, that mindset, that energy that's gonna keep it from showing up, because you're not open and ready for it and you don't believe you deserve it. So what was so beautiful for me on this trip, and like looking back in hindsight, I can look at now how I literally manifested it, because so many people kept questioning it and like bringing in the logical mind and saying, well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to make it work? And I wasn't really giving it the time of day, because I was so confident and excited and just like so deep in the belief of knowing that it was going to work out. So I didn't care that I didn't have an explanation of how. I just was okay knowing that it was going to happen. And it was beautiful. So I went there, I volunteered for a while, and then I continued my travels, went to the Philippines, did my scuba diving, went to Bali, did my months of yoga, I went to Australia, skydived, did a bunch of stuff there. And it was when I was in Bali, this opportunity came up at the elephant sanctuary where they sent out an email to all the previous volunteers, which was like thousands of people, I'm pretty sure. Like at least 1,000, and if not more. I'm not good with numbers. It was like a lot of people though. They sent out this email saying like, hey, we're gonna be looking for some new volunteer coordinators and people to help at the elephant sanctuary. Here's what the role would look like, you know, helping with volunteers, helping with elephants, doing all this kind of care and And like you can fill out an application form and apply and send in your resume and stuff. And I remember the second I read it, I was like, here we go, this is it, you know? And there was a bit of doubt because I'm not a super cocky, like over the top person. There was definitely some doubt of like, are you like, there's going to be probably a lot of people applying, so don't be like overly excited, but like don't believe so strongly and attach to it, you know? It was kind of like, put in the action steps, send in the resume, send in the form, put it out there, get your name in there, and then step back again. And don't be so focused on it and attached to it, just step back. So that's exactly what I did. I remember sending an email to my mom saying like, look, I'm super pumped. This opportunity opened up. I've sent in my email. I was like, maybe I'm underqualified, who knows? But like, I really believe I can do this job. And it could be what gets me back to the Elephants. And then fast forward like a few weeks later, or maybe it was like a month later, everything was so divinely perfect and magical in this trip. So I also won tickets to the Bali Spirit Festival, like a huge yoga festival in Ubud, Bali. And I won it from like an Instagram contest. It was so random. It was just like literally a manifesting machine. And I always bring myself back. Another side note, but if you're trying to manifest, look at examples when you have done it and use those as like things you hold on to when you're trying to manifest again. Like I always revert back to this memory of this year abroad and the elephants and stuff as my reminder of like, Kara, you know how to freaking manifest. You can do this. Just, you've done it before with huge things that were seemingly impossible. So just do the same thing, follow the process, trust it, feel it, believe it. So that's your side note. Find an example of a time when you have manifested, don't cling to it, but like embody that, really boost your own confidence with this knowing of like, man, I've done it before, so I can do it again now. There's no difference here. That'll change everything for you. So I was at the Bali Spirit Festival. I'd won tickets. I was totally blissed out there. There was this astrological reading that I got done. So cool. She was like, everything she said was like insanely on point. It was all about how I was like in a year of transformation, like a lot of like stuff that I hadn't told people. They had no knowledge of anything about me, and everything they read was like exactly what was happening. And she said like, there's gonna be a really life-changing opportunity coming your way really soon, something you've been dreaming about, blah, blah, blah. And it's easy to be like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, that could mean a lot of things. And I finished this reading. I went and sat down to get some lunch, and I was texting my mom back in Canada, and I was like, listen to like all these things that they said on this reading to me. I'm gonna sit this way. She was like, I was like, listen to all these things that they said on this reading, right? And we're sharing it, and then all of a sudden this email pops up on my phone, and it was from the elephant sanctuary in Sri Lanka. And they were like, hey Kara, we're really sorry it took us a while to get back to you. It's been busy, there's been a lot of people to go through, but like we would love to chat and offer you this position. And I was just like, I started happy crying. I got my mom to call me long distance. We were on the phone. We were like, because I was like, I literally just had this astrological reading that said like a really big dream come true is coming your way. And it was like right after I got this email saying, here it is, like, here you go, Kara, this is what you've been asking for. This is what you've been dreaming about since you were a little girl, and you called it into your life. And this is manifestation, because it's not about the stress. It's not about forcing. And I think a lot of manifestation coaches talk about this, where it's like, you have the vision, you put it out there, you believe in your heart and soul. It's not even a belief, it's a knowing. You know that it's gonna happen. Whether it happens tomorrow, whether it happens 2 months from now, whether it's 2 years from now, you know 100% without a doubt it is coming, it is yours. And it's that belief and that knowing that allows you to kind of step back. And a lot of times when I find myself blocking myself in manifestation and stuff like that, it's because I'm trying to put the pressure, the force, and the hustle into making it happen right now on my time. And there's nothing wrong with taking action. Obviously, I still took action to get this job with elephants. I still had to take actions leading up to that to feel qualified enough to be like, yeah, you know what, I have a lot of experience in these different areas that would benefit them. You know, I wasn't just like, I did the work still. There was still work, and then I still had to align and take the actions. Okay, well, let me plan my trip. Let me see how I can get back there. Let's figure out the logistics, right? There is still action, but the force isn't there because the energy is from that place of trust. So now this is exactly how I ended up back in Australia and Bali. And I'm actually, like I said at the beginning, I'm actually heading back to Canada later today, and I'm really excited to get back there. But it's been a beautiful time here, and like I had zero intentions of being in Australia and Bali this winter. I moved to Toronto in October, and after a month, I was like, this isn't working. Things aren't falling into place. There's a lot of energy I don't like here. It doesn't feel good. And as I was kind of waffling with like, what's the next step? You know, where do I go from here? Do I just move back home for a bit? Or like, I don't know what I do. All of a sudden, like my friend in Australia was like, hey, you know, my roommate's just moving out. I've got an extra space. Why don't you come to Australia? And I was like, I was literally just trying to figure out where I go next. So within 2 days, I booked my flight to Australia. I was coming here, and that was it. There was no force, no over planning, no hustle. And I think, again, that's the key here is like, you get to let it be easy, and when you can lean back and trust, you can create everything you want. So your takeaways, lean back, have the vision. Okay, number one, have the vision, know what it is you desire, where you want to see yourself, where you want to get to, what you want to have, who you want to be. Like, feel into that place. It's important to embody it, to connect with it already, because you already have it all. It's already done on the spiritual realm and the energetic realm. So you just need to believe it. So hold on to that, have that inner knowing and that inner belief, and then take some aligned action. You still need to take some steps to get there, but don't be like so caught up in the forcing that you're putting pressure on it, that you're trying to make it happen, because making comes from the energy of not believing you already have it. And it comes from like that lack mentality. You want to have the abundance mentality that like, it's already mine. I already have it. It's all coming to me. So you just get to act from this place of trust and this really relaxed energy that's a lot more inviting for what it is you desire. So then when you show up, you take some of the action steps, you do what you need to do each day to get there, and relax into it, feel really good, trust that it's coming, and then be open to the opportunities. Be open to like the weird little things or the synchronicities that show up. All of a sudden this opportunity shows up, or you meet some new person and they connect you somehow. Like, there's no shortage of ways that it can come to you when you just lean back, trust, and you believe that it is your divine right. So give that a try. You can let me know in the comments. Again, like I said before, if you're an elephant person, I'd love to know that. And let me know what your experience is with manifestation as well. If you haven't, please give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and also check out my free mindset training where I dive into the mindset work behind all of this and how important it is for the beliefs. So like I said, there was not a doubt in my mind that I would end up working with elephants, or I would end up back in Australia and Bali someday. Like, I just knew it would happen. I wasn't attached to the outcome. I just trusted, and things fell into place naturally, and it was beautiful. And it was a lot more stress-free than the times when I try to force things to happen on my time. So check it out. I will see you on the next video, and perhaps by then I will be back in Canada.